Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a video that I think I should have filmed a little while ago, but it's taken me a long time to get back into the swing of things. This video is actually going to be about C-section recovery, what I wish I had known before having a C-section, and basically what I've learned since having a C-section. So I've been writing things down on my notes on my phone, so I'm going to look at these and read out as I go. So obviously a C-section is a big surgery. It is when your tummy is cut open at the bottom, right where your knicker line is, and you have a scar of about this big that they basically take the baby out and your baby is born. Some people I see very conflicting things. Some people say, oh, it's the easy way of having a baby, it's the easy way out. And it makes me quite angry when people do say that to me, or they say, oh, you know, you're really lucky you didn't have any damage, you know, down there. And you think, well, no, but I've just gone through a big surgery. And it's a very conflicting subject. Some people don't agree that a C-section is as big as it is. I guess until you go through it, it may not seem that way, but it is a big surgery. And that's the first thing that I think you need to bear in mind when you're considering a C-section is, yes, it is quick to have your baby, you don't feel anything when you're having your baby, and that's great, but afterwards is really hard, and I don't think people are really aware of how hard it actually is. So that's just something to bear in mind. I didn't expect it to be as bad as it was. Now, the healing part of a C-section is quite a long time, so it takes 6 to 12 weeks for your body to heal after having a C-section. So this is pretty normal. I think this is normal pretty much anywhere around the world. Is 6 weeks you have your first checkup to basically see how your body's healing, how your stitching's healing, and everything like that. And most people are really lucky and after 6 weeks have the all clear to do everything they need to do, but unfortunately some people aren't. For me, it took nearly 11 weeks for my C-section scar to fully heal up. So William is now 14 weeks, so it took a long time for mine to heal up, but I will talk more about what happened with me while I discuss these topics. But on average, that's how long it takes for your body to heal after having a C-section, but you may find it will take months before you can actually get back into the swing of doing your normal everyday chores and exercising and things like that. What I didn't know, and I'm going to make sure I tell you this because I was told this by my midwife and doctor, is it takes 7 to 10 days for your internal stitches to heal. I didn't know that. I thought it healed within a couple of days, but it actually takes up to 10 days for your internal stitches to heal. So I guess if you're after 10 days thinking, oh, I don't want to pop the stitches inside, you're actually healed up by that point. So that's really good information that I didn't know, and I'm kind of glad that I was told, because I was panicking so much thinking, oh my god, like if I bend over I'm going to pop the stitches, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. And actually it's not the case. Your body has already healed internally, so that's the best thing. At least you know it's completely healed. The outside, however, still takes quite a bit of time. Like I said, mine took nearly 11 weeks for it to completely close up. So everybody is different though. You know, some people's bodies heal a lot quicker, some people's take a little bit longer. So don't necessarily judge my healing on yours. Another thing is when it comes to your stitching outside, you actually need air to let it heal. Now, I was very much thinking, oh, I need to keep it covered up, and you know, when you come out of hospital you have like a big, similar to a sanitary towel, like to cover it for the first 24 hours, and then when the nurse comes and sees you, they take it off. You actually need air, and that's pretty common for any cuts, bruises, scrapes, isn't it? You need air to let it heal. If you get a cut, normally your mum would say to you, "Oh, get the air to it, it'll be absolutely fine." Same with your C-section stitching. So when you have a minute, when you're sitting down, you know, you're watching TV or something little, your baby's asleep, maybe sit with your trousers down, you know, just so your scar has basically got some air for about 10-15 minutes a day. That will do you the world of good, and it will actually heal your stitching a little bit quicker by making sure it gets the air that it needs. If it keeps it covered up, it gets a lot of moisture to it, which keeps it wet. A C-section scar, you don't want it to be wet. Like, you have to make sure you're cleaning your stitching every single day with like a cotton pad, warm water, and that is it. You don't want to put anything else on it, no like salt, nothing. The only time you need to do that is if you are advised by your doctor to do so. But it actually needs to be dry. As much as you think, oh, it needs to be wet and clean, you know, keep it covered, it's not the case. Let the air get to it, keep it nice and dry, and it will actually heal a lot nicer than you think. Keep up with your medication. So obviously when you've had a C-section, you know, during the pain it's kind of pain-free, but afterwards, as soon as all the drugs and the morphine, everything like runs out of your system, you are given paracetamol, and if you can take it, ibuprofen. I can only take paracetamol, but you have to take that obviously every 4 hours, and I 100% am advising you to take it every 4 hours. Even during the night, if you have to go to sleep, wake up within 4 hours, which 9 times out of 10 you will because your baby's waking up. Make sure you keep on top of it. Set alarms in your phone, or get your partner to keep a track of what your medication's doing, because you need that medication. And even when your body starts to feel like it's getting better, like I think I found after 4 or 5 days I was feeling like quite a little bit better. I was like, oh, you know, pain's starting to ease. I stopped taking the paracetamol, and within 24 hours the pain got quite bad again. So even when you're starting to feel a bit better, keep taking it. Even if you keep taking it to your 6-week appointment, you will honestly feel so much better, and it is just the one thing that you are advised to do. Take the medication, even when you're starting to feel better. Just keep taking it solidly. I believe they advise you for the first week, but it's okay to keep taking it until you get the okay from your doctors that everything's healed and you do feel 100% better. So obviously, as well as medication, you will probably be given a course of injections to do. I didn't know this. I didn't know this was something you had to do. But you have these little injections which you have to put in either in your legs, your bum, or your tummy. We did ours in my leg, only because the hospital did it in my leg, and they said just keep doing it in alternating legs. And you do these for 10 days at least. Some people I know have been doing it for a lot longer because they've got like medical conditions where they have to keep going. But these injections are to stop blood clots basically in your legs, because you're not going to be up and moving, and where they've obviously done a big surgery on your tummy, the likeliness of you getting clots goes up a little bit. The risk is a bit higher. So you have to take these injections every single day, and it's important that you do. Your midwife, when they come and see you, will obviously check that everything's okay. And if you are worried about the injections or something's not right, you're feeling a bit off, you know, make sure you're always communicating with them on that. But I found it easier to let my partner Adam do the injections in my leg. I struggled for the first bit bending to do it, and for me putting needles in me, I just couldn't do it mentally. It was really, really tough. Whereas Adam had been doing fertility injections to me, obviously prior to having William, so he was more confident in doing it. But it does sting a little bit. It's not very nice. But we only had to do ours for 10 days, and it wasn't that bad. It lasts seconds. So just get your doctor or nurse, whoever shows you how to do the injections, to just show it to your partner as well, so that you both are able to do it, basically. Swelling after having surgery as well. This is something I did not expect. So once I had William, I'd come out with my knickers that I'd bought from Primark, if you saw my video, and they didn't fit. I thought I'd be the same size as I was when I was about 20 to 25 weeks, as that's what people told me if you're having a natural birth. Obviously that didn't happen, and your body swells a lot after having a baby, after having the C-section, because of all the drugs and everything like that. My legs nearly doubled inside. It was horrible. So I ended up wearing a pair of cycling shorts and putting a sanitary pad in them because I couldn't get my knickers on, and the idea of putting anything tight on your tummy or on your scar was just a no-no. So for me, make sure you obviously got big knickers, and I mean big stretchy knickers. Go up to a size 18 to 20 if you're currently like a size 8 to 10 normally. You will thank me later, because you want that extra big granny knickers. and you will 100% thank me. But in similar to that, make sure you've got maternity clothes with you, so you're not going to be wearing normal pre-pregnancy clothes straight away after having a C-section. Your body is still swelling and healing, and you will still feel and probably look pregnant. So make sure you've got your maternity clothes that are nice loose fitting. If you're going to wear leggings because it's cold, you know, big maternity high-waisted leggings so they don't rub on your scar. And that's the same as knickers. Don't wear any low-rise knickers until that scar is healed up. More for your comfort than anything else. Like, some people may disagree with that and be like, oh, I was absolutely fine wearing low-rise knickers, and that's just personal choice. But me personally, make sure you pack big knickers. Sounds so attractive, doesn't it? But obviously postpartum body after having a baby is not attractive. We all walk around wearing those big granny pants with the big maternity sanitary towels in. It's okay, don't worry. Everyone, even Kate Middleton, when she was on TV after having all three children, she was wearing the same knickers we all were wearing. Okay, don't worry about it. After a C-section, you also still bleed. So this is another thing that people may not know, but you do still bleed after having a baby when you've had a C-section, and it does last up to 4 to 6 weeks. My period actually lasted 3.5 weeks when I first had William. I then had a 4-week gap, had another period, which I then went onto the contraceptive injection, and then I had a couple of days break, and I've been bleeding since. So that's nearly 4 weeks I've been bleeding. So don't be alarmed if that happens to you. Like, you are going to bleed. It's perfectly normal to bleed. You've just had a baby, everything's coming out, and don't get me wrong, it's not just blood that's going to come out, okay? This is disgusting, but all sorts are going to come out. You're going to have bits of leftover residue, you're going to have water, like gunk. It's completely normal, and it's not to be alarmed about. I believe the only time you need to be alarmed is obviously when you start getting quite big clots. Just get it checked out by your midwife. Most of the time it's absolutely fine, but it's always worth just getting it checked out. And it's also very heavy, that period, the first period after having your baby. Not necessarily straight after birth, but when you've had that like birth bleed, you then have a gap, then you have your first period. That period is really hard. It's really heavy, draining. I felt really poorly after having it. So be prepared that you are probably still going to bleed, and just make sure you've got plenty of big sanitary towels, the big maternity ones, and you're just changing them frequently. I actually found afterwards having the nappies were quite helpful, and I would put a sanitary towel in those nappies as well, just so if you get any leakage you don't feel so bad because you can't get up quickly to go to the toilet. It just helped me having them, and you could just put them all together in a big bag, stick them in the bin. It was so much easier, as well as my big granny knickers as well, just for that extra support. The first wee is hard, and the first poo is hard. Let's not sugarcoat this. For me, I found the only way I could have a wee properly was to turn a tap on next to me and watch the tap. Some people have said they use a perinatal bottle, where they basically squirt the bottle down below while they're having a wee, and they found that helped. Some people found just letting themselves go to the point they needed to go for a wee helped. But for me, I think just having a tap on, just looking at water, really helped me go for a wee. In terms of going for a poo, it took me nearly a week to go for a poo, and I was dreading it. It wasn't as bad as what I thought it was going to be though, so that's one thing I will say, is even though it was tough, it wasn't as bad as what I thought it was going to be. I was holding on to, like, we've got a towel thing, I was holding on to that. I had a pillow over my tummy, and, you know, just trying. Just don't push so hard, you know, you've just got to take it easy. I was advised to take a stool softener, so that's absolutely fine. If you really are worried and you're like, oh god, that poo's going to be horrible, you know, take a stool softener. You know, try and have a nice high fibre diet for those first couple of days. And then once you've gone for the first time, honestly, after that, you are absolutely fine. It may take you an hour, it may take you 2 hours to go to the toilet, but you will go. So don't worry if it takes a little while, or you have quite a big gap after having your baby that you don't go to the toilet. It's fine, go at your own pace, but if it gets to about a week and you haven't been, try and take a stool softener and just let the body do what it needs to do. But yeah, for me, just holding a pillow onto my tummy made me feel better that my organs weren't going to fall out or I was going to pop my stitches. That was my biggest fear, was popping the stitches, when actually, really and truthfully, you're not going to do. But it's obviously something that plays on your mind after having a C-section. So it is hard, it is tough, I'm not sugarcoating that. It's not a nice thing to go for that first poo and first wee. But once you've done it, honestly, you will feel so much better and you'll realise it's not as scary as you think it's going to be. Your organs also move after having a C-section, obviously, because they've moved while you're growing a baby. You've then had a surgery where they've been pushing around and everything like that. It is normal, and I found this so weird. I was lying on my sofa, like basically on this, and I looked at my tummy and I could see like these little like things moving, and I'm going, oh my god, what's going on in my tummy? You've got an alien in there. It's actually your organs moving back to where they need to go. So this is very normal. This was something I was actually genuinely worried about. I was like, oh my god, what's going on inside my body? And it's just your organs moving. So if you do notice when you're sitting there lying down, you can see these little things moving in your tummy. It's just your organs. You're not dying. You are fine. It's honestly, it's strange, and people may laugh watching this bit of the video, but I guess when you've never had a baby, it's really hard to think that, you know, your organs need to go back to where they were, and the fact your body does this all on its own and it just moves things back to where it needs to go is fascinating to me. But yeah, don't worry, it's normal. Infections on your C-section is very, very common. So I got an infection in my C-section scar. We found out when I was at 3-4 weeks that the scar had got infected. Thankfully for me, mine was only a tiny infection, so a course of antibiotics, a little bit more rest than what I wanted, you know, and it got better. However, you know, it took a long time for my scar to actually close up, which caused issues. I had a little gape in mine, which again, you know, your body heals at its own pace. So I had to have extra bed rest. You know, I had to really look after the scarring, cleaning it constantly, letting the air get to it. Things I didn't really do in those first couple of days and first weeks that you really need to do, which I will tell you more soon. So obviously don't get disheartened if, you know, you do get an infection in your scar. It is so common. Most C-sections do have a slight infection, so don't worry. Once you've had a course of antibiotics, 9 times out of 10 it goes away. And to be fair, a lot of people I've spoken to didn't even get an infection, so don't be too disheartened on it if you do. I got one, and I know loads of people who also had babies the same time as me, they got infections. So don't worry, it is normal and it will get better. Having a shower after your C-section is really important actually, but it is very hard. So for me, I found it really tough getting in and out of the bath. I don't have a walk-in shower, so I had to go to my in-laws to have a shower because I just couldn't manage getting up and going. Into the bath. My mum tried to help me in, Adam tried to help me in the bath, and it was just so painful. But once I had a bath, I felt like a completely different human being. So I think it is crucial to make sure that, you know, if you can go to somebody who's got a walk-in shower, if you don't, do it. But if you need to, you know, use a bath, definitely just get somebody to help you. It will hurt and it is hard, but once you've had that first shower, you will feel like a new human being. If you are lucky enough, have a shower in the hospital, because they've got walk-in showers. So I didn't even know I could have a shower, but you can go take your baby in their little trolley and go and have a shower. You will feel so much better. Obviously that includes baths as well. They do advise you don't have a bath until your stitching is fully healed. A lot of people wait until the 6 weeks before they actually have a proper bath. But I believe as soon as that 6 weeks comes, you can have a bath and submerge the stitching. It might be different. Your doctor may advise differently if you've got infections and things like that. I didn't actually attempt a bath until about 11 weeks because I was so petrified of causing another infection with my scar, when actually it was really safe to actually have a bath. So weigh it up on your own side here, but that's what I was told. Normally by 6 weeks you can have your first bath. Now these are kind of like the do's and don'ts that, you know, you would do normally, but you can't. So driving is one of the things that you can't do after having a C-section until you are comfortable doing an emergency stop. That is what we were advised. It took me 9 weeks to be comfortable enough to do an emergency stop. Some people can drive after 2 weeks, some people can drive after 4 weeks. It's your personal preference, I guess, when you are comfortable. But for me, because my stitching wasn't healed up properly and I had a gape, I was advised not to. And it took about 9 weeks until I was at the point where I was like, do you know what, I'm going to attempt to drive. And I did, and I was fine, and nothing happened. So hoovering is obviously a big no-no. That motion of going like this is a massive, massive no. So until you get to that 6 weeks, you're definitely advised not to do any of that kind of stuff. You can't hoover, you know, cleaning, doing all those movements where you're like this, or, you know, turning like that, is pretty much a big, big no-no. And you won't feel comfortable doing it anyway. So best off waiting until you get the all clear from your GP to start doing that. So if you can, you know, get help with your partner, if they can maybe help keep on top of the housework for you, or your family, friends, whatever, if they can just help out with those kind of things. Again, you just won't feel comfortable doing it either, so don't like panic too much about doing all these things for the first 6 weeks. Exercising as well is another topic. So you are advised after having a C-section surgery to get up and walk around. That is really good for your healing, and it's good for you and your mental health that you can get up and go for a walk. But be prepared that you won't be able to stand for long periods of time. It's obviously, walking is crucial for your healing process. It 100% is. So, you know, for the first couple of days, maybe try and get somebody to help you with that. I found it really hard to basically get up, put my shoes on and just walk around the little courtyard I have here. I found by holding on to Adam's arm, that really helped me. And he obviously helped me get my shoes and socks on and things like that to get up and walk. But even just around the house, like, you know, you walk to go to the toilet, you know, you walk to go to the fridge, you know, those little things you will still continue to do. And in terms of properly exercising, so I mean doing cardio, you know, yoga, things like that, be prepared until you get the all clear from your GP, which is normally the 6 to 12 week mark. You probably won't be able to do much exercise, and if you can, it will literally be the bare minimum of what you're allowed to do. I know lifting weights will be an absolute no-no. So if you are somebody who loves the gym, you know, be prepared. It's going to take a couple of weeks before you can properly start exercising again. But that's absolutely fine. Just enjoy this time that you have at the minute. In terms of your healing as well, in terms of comfort, set yourself up on either your bed or your sofa. For me, I found it easier to set myself up on my sofa. My bed was too soft and squishy, so if I wanted to get up, I found that really hard in my bed. So instead what we did is we brought William's Moses basket in here. It was nice and lovely and warm in here anyway, which was perfect for him. I basically made a bed like we have here. I had pillows, you know, my feet were up, I was very rested and very elevated. And just try and stay comfortable and comfy and relaxed for those first week at least, because that's the most crucial time that you need for your body to heal. And that's something that I didn't do personally. I thought I could be Wonder Woman and get up and do everything that I wanted to do and look after my newborn in the first 24 hours, and I did too much too quickly for my body, which is probably why I got an infection and probably why it took so long for my stitching to heal. If I had perhaps done as I was advised and actually rest, let everyone else do all that stuff for you, do all the things that you think you should be doing for you, you will heal and get better a lot quicker, and your stitching will get better quicker, and you'll feel better quicker, and that's the most important thing. It also, I say about getting comfy, and it's a crucial time for your body to heal, make sure you've got everything in like a little caddy. I have a little grey caddy which has nappies, wipes, muslins, everything in. So anything that I needed for William was in that, and I basically kept that next to me for the first couple of days. And that was really helpful because you can't necessarily get up, walk to the bedroom, get what you need from the bedroom, change him, do this and that, get nappies. It's so much to do in one hit. If you've got everything next to you, it's a lot easier. So I definitely advise getting a little caddy or a little box or something that you've got next to you that's got everything in, even things for you like sanitary towels, you know, some treats, some chocolate, a bottle of Sprite or Lucozade is really good for obviously keeping your energy levels up for them first couple of weeks. Those kind of things just keep next to you, so you don't have to get up and move around so much or go digging for things late at night at 2 o'clock in the morning when you're tired, and it's just so much easier. So definitely get a caddy. Your pregnancy pillow will continue to be your best friend. I love my pregnancy pillow, I still use it now. You will probably find it more comfortable to sleep in a slightly more upright position, I guess, like when you were pregnant. You know, it's a lot easier for you to be able to move around and get up off the sofa if you're slightly sat up, whereas if you're lying flat down and you want to get up, it's easier if you just turn to your side, use your hand and push your hands up. Don't expect your body to go like this. It won't happen, it will just hurt. You'll probably cry doing so, and getting up for the first time on your own is hard, and I did cry. I'm going to admit that. I cried many a times trying to get up from my sofa. Even sitting on the sofa, I found it easier to obviously shuffle my legs so they were flat on the floor and then use the arm of the sofa to pull myself up. Again, if you can, if you're lucky to have somebody with you, get them to help you stand up, you know, to hold the hands and they just stand nice and slowly. Take your time when you're doing it, and your pregnancy pillow will help massively because it keeps you in that slightly upright position, and it just stops the pain from hurting. Hot water bottles as well. Use a hot water bottle, that will really help ease that pain, but don't put it directly on the scar. Always make sure you've got something over the top of your tummy so it doesn't go straight into the scar. Bending over is really tough for those first, especially that first week. I found it really hard to even pick William up from his Moses basket and put him back down. So, you know, be prepared, you're going to need assistance for that first week of doing that. For me, you know, I was very lucky at Adam and my mum to help me out with all those things. But I remember, and if you watch my video on having William and how I coped and things like that, I struggled on that first 24 hours because obviously he was crying, Adam was trying to get some sleep, and it was just me and Adam doing it solo to start with, and I couldn't get there quick enough to get William. It took me 15 minutes to get from my bed to his Moses basket, and all I wanted to do was just pick him up and cuddle him, and I couldn't even do that to pick him up. And that's okay, that's absolutely normal. Your body is going through so much, you won't be able to do that. So if you can, maybe try and do it together for that first week. Get somebody to lift him out, and you can still carry on doing the rest of the things. You can still feed your baby, cuddle your baby, you know, you can still try and, you know, walk around and rock them slightly, but try and get help lifting them in and out for just for those first couple of days at least, until the medication is like kicking in your body and you're feeling a little bit better. That also comes on to the point of getting in and out of a car. This was something I didn't know, and I wish I had known how hard it was going to be. So obviously once we were discharged from hospital, we got to come home and I had to get in the car. Now I've got a small SUV, so it's quite high up and I'm only little, I'm 4'10". It took a long time to get me in the car and I felt awful. I felt like a complete failure at that point because I couldn't do a simple task of getting my legs from here to here. So I had to hold on to the top of the car and hold on to the side like this, and Adam like pushed my legs in slowly, and I did. I sobbed and sobbed and going over every speed bump, everything. So make sure you've got a little pillow in the car so that, you know, you're nice, and when you go over speed bumps it doesn't hit, you know, your tummy's nice and happy. Even on your back as well, just so you're nice and in a good position, you're not hunched over or anything like that. But just be prepared. If you can, try and avoid getting in and out of cars for that first week or so. Once you start to get to the point where you can stand up on your own and you're starting to manoeuvre a little bit better, normally after them first 5 to 7 days, then that's absolutely fine. You'll be in and out of the car and you'll be happy. But it took a long time for me to feel comfortable getting in and out of my car, and you won't be able to lift your legs. That's even silly things like putting your legs up onto a puffy if you've got one, or a recliner or anything like that. Just be prepared to take your time doing so. You're not going to be able to do it quickly. And same with getting up and down. It just won't happen quickly. Don't force your body to be quick at healing. It's not going to happen. Take your time. Obviously, that's again, you won't be able to stand for long periods of time. Something that deep down I knew, but I was too stubborn to do as I was told, basically. So, you know, make sure you have got that support there where people can help you with your washing, your cleaning. Like, I know I keep saying rely on your partner, and it's a lot for your partner to do, but at the end of the day, you've had the big surgery, you've grown a baby, you've pushed this baby out. They will be okay for the first week or two helping you. And even after that week or two, like I say, you know, 2 weeks, but after 2 weeks, when Adam went back to work after 3, I was still struggling to keep up with my housework and everything because I was still in so much pain. So your body will heal at different paces. You know, it may not happen in 2 weeks, it may not happen in 3, it may not happen in 12, it may take 6 months. You know, your body is your body, and it will take a long time for it to heal if you don't look after it. So give it everything it needs. You know, if your body wants a healthy diet after having a baby, have a healthy, and you're going to want a healthy diet anyway. Lots of fibre, you know, looking after yourself internally. And just be prepared. You just won't be able to stand for long periods. You won't be able to do your washing. You won't be able to do your cleaning. You know, that's pretty obvious. Your priority is just to sit and enjoy those cuddles with your baby for those first couple of weeks. You know, you let your body heal and do what it needs to do to heal, and then the sooner you do that, the sooner you're going to get better. When you're pregnant, this is another thing, you know, I was meant to do and I didn't get around to doing it, is do some meal prepping. You know, maybe at like 34, 35 weeks, start doing some meal prepping and freeze your food. So that basically when it comes to after having your baby, so you have healthy food choices or nice hearty meals without actually having to do any cooking or prepping. Just then take them out of the freezer, and then whoever's looking after you, be it your parents, your partner, friends, they can literally just stick it in the oven with no mess, no fuss, and it does come in handy. So that's definitely something you could do potentially before having your baby, and you'll feel a lot better after having a nice healthy home cooked meal. Accept help straight away. That's just a big thing. You know, you won't be able to run around like I've said. You know, you won't be able to walk around holding your baby, doing the housework like the super mum you want to be, or that you think every other mum is doing. You need to accept help. You know, make sure you surround yourself with a good support bubble or support network during your healing time. Mine was 100% my parents. I found after the first couple of days when I started to really struggle mentally and physically, Adam was really struggling as well, because obviously he was not getting any sleep because he was helping me. My mum came and moved in with us for about a week, and it was the best decision we made. It meant that basically when Adam was doing his, like doing everything, he could then go and get some sleep and I could take over, but still have my mum to help me, because I still couldn't lift and carry, and I wanted to do all these things and I couldn't, but having my mum there to help was massive, and it helped me out dramatically. So definitely, if you can, if you've got, you know, a good support bubble, if you can have your like mum or dad move in with you so that you can do shifts and things, that will help you massively and you'll feel so much better. So we just found it easier to do it that way, and we also carried on doing shift patterns for a little while after when William was born, and still now I go to bed at 10. Adam's watches him till 12 if he's not asleep. 9 times out of 10 he's asleep by then now. But yeah, but it is important that you and your partner do get sleep. Sleep deprivation is very real, and it's something that you don't talk about much before having a baby. You think you're going to be absolutely fine, but after like 1 or 2 days it will hit you, and it's horrible. Your baby's waking up every 2 hours. If you're breastfeeding as well, like how you mums do it, I don't know. We had to bottle feed William. He had tongue tie, and it was very bad. He couldn't latch at all. So, you know, it is tough if you are breastfeeding as well as having a C-section, because you will probably not get any sleep. But if you can get some sleep and you are lucky to express and you do it in a bottle, do let your partner take over so you can have some sleep, or your parents, your mum, whoever you've got looking after you. Make sure that you sleep and then they in return also get some sleep. So that's what we found easier. So when Adam was doing the shift in the day, I would get some sleep, or if we swapped it around and I did the night shifts, I would sleep a little bit during the day with my mum. We'd both get a little bit of a sleep and then we'd take over, and it worked for us. We did really well. William now sleeps through the night, which is great. Obviously do not worry about the state of your home. That is just going to happen. Your house is going to become a tornado. Your house is going to be a tornado. You know, you got a brand new baby, you've just had a big surgery, your partner is obviously trying to keep up to date with looking after you, looking after baby, looking after the house. Be prepared, you're probably not going to get everything done. Your house is not going to be clean, your hoovering's not going to get done as much as you probably are used to, your washing probably not going to get done as frequently as you would like it to, your kitchen will be a mess, and that's absolutely okay. Honestly, that's fine. You know, you don't need to live up to the expectation of what you perhaps see on social media, the mums that are super mums that get back to it, and good on them that they've been able to do it. But don't feel disheartened or bad that your house is not a pristine, clean place, because it takes a long time for that body to get back to normal, and you're going to have so much time afterwards. Once your body is healed, you will feel like you can do everything again. I think when my body properly healed, I'd say I started to feel a lot better about 8 weeks. You know, I started doing housework again. I started like washing, bleaching my kitchen every day, hoovering, you know, putting a load of washing on, doing the tumble dryer, etc. You know, I started doing all those things and I felt so much better. But I know how hard it is to like watch your house get messy. But having a baby does that, unfortunately. Your house is not going to be clean and pristine anymore. You are going to have a messy home for a little while, and that is okay. And you know, also it's just a crazy time. Sleep deprivation, healing, new person. You're trying to get familiar with a new person and they're trying to get familiar with you. It's a really, really hard time. So just enjoy those first couple of weeks together as a little family and the healing process. Just enjoy it. Enjoy that little bit of time together, even if you don't get to see people, just doing nothing for those first couple of weeks. If you do have guests come over though, and this is a topic that I actually read in the Positive Birth Stories, that book that I read before having William, and they made a good point, is if you have a guest come over, you know, they should be able to help themselves to what they want. If they come round expecting you to be the hostess with the mostess, then they shouldn't be there. You know, they need to be prepared that you've just had a big operation, you've had a baby. If they want to come and see your baby, that's absolutely fine. But they should be willing to make the teas. If you've not done lunch, oh well. If they want to go and get lunch, they can go and get lunch. If they want to go to the shop and get you lunch and make you lunch, that's what they should be doing. You know, people who come to your house in that first stage of healing are normally your close family and friends, because you don't want the whole world coming in and out of your home. You know, if they want something, they should be helping themselves, or at least offering to do it for you. You know, if they don't, then they shouldn't be there. And I read that, and it was actually a big bit of advice that I took on myself. I was so lucky that everyone who came and saw William, if they were allowed to, at that point it was just our friends, family, like close family, like brothers and sisters and things. They all were very much willing to just help themselves, and they were quite happy to just make lunch for me and things. So I'm very grateful to them, they're the best. But yeah, you just need to focus on enjoying those first couple of weeks of just sitting down and resting. I'm going to keep saying it because it's something I didn't do and I should have. Another big thing, which, you know, this is quite a raw subject for most new mums, and it's something that isn't discussed enough, is communication with your support network. Your support network could be anything: your doctors, your health visitors, your partner, your friends, your family, your parents, yourself, anything. Your support network, a group of people that are gonna get you through these first 6 to 12 weeks. So for example, you know, it's okay to feel rubbish. After having William, I did a whole video on this. You know, I felt like an out of body experience. I wanted to do one thing and my body wouldn't let me, and I felt awful. I felt like I was the worst parent on earth because I couldn't come and comfort my screaming child. I couldn't get up and do what I wanted to do without relying on somebody else, and I found that really hard because I'm quite independent, and you know, to then go from being so independent and doing everything yourself to then having to rely on other people, I didn't like it, and it really affected me mentally and physically. But the baby blues are very, very real. Most mums, be it even a C-section or a normal vaginal birth, all experience some form of baby blues, and that's okay to feel that. It's absolutely fine to feel very low and things like that, but you need to make sure that you are communicating with your support network on this, because it very much can go from baby blues to postnatal depression. You know, those first 6 weeks are very hard, mentally and physically. A lot is going on, your body is changing very quickly, your hormones are going up and down, you've got a brand new baby that's crying, that, you know, if they've got colic like William has, tongue ties, jaundice, problems that arise from having a baby. It's a lot to take in and a lot for your body to get used to very quickly. So it's very easy, and I can understand, especially with being in a lockdown like we were when we had William, and the world not being right, you can't go out and about, you can't go and see your friends and family when you want to. I obviously developed postnatal depression, and I'm still getting counselling for it. You know, I have a health visitor call me every single week, I have a mental health team call me every single week, and it's something that I have to keep discussing, and it's something I think people need to discuss. Mums need to feel open and feel freely about talking about postnatal depression. But like I said, I really struggled with the idea that I went from all the independence to not having any, and I felt useless and helpless. But actually, now I look at it and I realise that, yeah, my body was taken away from me, the experience of having a baby has been taken away from me, colic has taken away everything that I thought being a mum would be about, and it affected my mental health and my husband's mental health just dramatically. You know, it's got to the point that both me and Adam don't want any more children, and we thought after we had William we would want more kids, and now it's kind of affected me so much and affected Adam so much that we don't really want any more children. But after talking to a lot of other mums who have had C-sections, I'm not the only one who feels this way, and most C-section mums feel the recovery mentally and physically. We all feel exactly the same. We all feel useless and hopeless, and that, you know, we're not being the parents that we thought we were going to be, because we're having to let our bodies heal, and we've got like infections to deal with. If you get mastitis from, you know, your boobs, and all these things that your body goes through after having a baby that you don't think anyone else is going through, because you look at social media, you look at the tabloids and things, and you see people bouncing, the word bounce back very quickly come up after having a baby, and you know, you get questions of, oh, when are you going to be doing this again, and when are you going to be doing that again, and people don't realise how hard a recovery for a C-section really is. So it is so important that if you are having a down day, or you're feeling rough, or you know, you're feeling helpless and alone, do talk to your support network. And if you are lucky enough that you have got a group of friends that are mums or have gone through C-sections, or you know people, or I'm always free to anybody who wants to DM me if they're having a hard time from having a C-section. I know how you feel. Many a time sat crying and sobbing and, you know, locking myself in the bathroom to cry because I didn't want anyone else to see me cry. I've done it. I've been there, and I know how tough it really is, but without my support bubble and my network that I had around me, I don't think I would have got through those first 12 weeks. My husband was an absolute diamond. He was always trying to reassure me every single day that I was doing the best I could possibly do. He still now says that I'm doing the most amazing job with William, especially with how difficult he's been. You know, you're doing great, Mama. Trust me, you're doing really, really well, and just make sure you do, just keep communicating. They're there to help. Your health team, especially doctors and GPs and things, midwives, they're all there to help. They're not there to criticise you or say you're doing a bad job. They're there to find ways of helping you. So just talk to them and take all the advice that they give you, and just listen. You know, listen to what they have to say, and it will help. I promise. It will get better. It will help. Your C-section recovery will heal. I know in those first week, 2 weeks, you'll be sitting there thinking, this is never going to end. I'm in so much pain. Honestly, it will go. It will get better. In 6 weeks, you'll be looking back at that and be like, I did it. I've done it. I'm fine. You know, you may still have issues like I had. You may have a gape, you may have an infections, you know, you probably still have all these things going on, but you will start to feel a lot better, and you will start to feel a bit of a routine kicking in yourself, your baby, and what your baby wants and everything. So it's okay. Self-care is the biggest thing as well. That's another topic that people don't talk about after having a baby, but your self-care is so important. That's taking an hour perhaps out of your day, even half an hour out of your day, where you basically just have time to yourself. If you're lucky, you know, your partner could maybe take your baby for a walk, or you know, your parents, if they're happy to just take the baby for an hour, so you could just paint your nails, do your hair, you know, watch a TV show in peace and quiet, have a cup of tea in peace and quiet. These are important things that you should be doing, and it's something I didn't know, I didn't think, I thought I'd be absolutely fine, but it takes its toll on you. The sleep deprivation, having a brand new little baby, it's a lot of work, it's hard, it's not easy, it's not something that, you know, you walk into and instantly have this maternal, like, oh, everything's been fine, my baby sleeps all night. It doesn't happen that way. Babies don't come with a rule book, a handbook, they don't listen to the guidelines that they're supposed to. Your baby is your baby, so you're going to need time apart from your baby, and I know it's hard, especially if you are breastfeeding, but even if you can go maybe half an hour, so you can just have a cup of tea on your own, will do you the world of good. Or even if you want to go for a walk, that's important. You know, you must make sure you give your self-care a tick and be like, I'm looking after myself. And it's the same with date nights and things like that. It's not just you that is going through this, and I know people are going to criticise that and be like, well, hang on, I've gone through all the pain. And yes, you have. You've gone through the pain, the heart, you know, carrying a baby, getting that baby out, going through the surgery, but your partner is also helping you in that recovery. So it's important that you two keep connecting with each other and communicating with each other, because it is tough. You do, like, for me and Adam, I find it really hard because we're used to watching TV together, we're used to having dinner together, and we kind of had to swap and do shifts. So we were kind of only like passing each other at maybe like 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning to say, he asked had a poo at this time, he last had his feed then. So we found it really difficult, but we made a point, and we said from when we were pregnant to all our family, that once a month we would always have a date night, and we've stuck to that. My mum and dad take William for like overnight, we have a date night. I've got Saturday night, he's going to my mum and dad's, and me and Adam have got stuff to do at home. We're moving house, so we've got to pack up and things, so we actually get some time together, have dinner together, and it's just those kind of things you don't get to do, and it's important that you do try and take that time to do those things. But it does the world of good. Self-care is honestly the best thing you can do during this healing process. I actually, when I was pregnant, had a little box together with like little goodies that I would use, so shampoos, conditioners, like really nice shower gels and face masks and things that I used, and it was the best thing I did, because I would relax, and that's how I would relax, is having a face mask and doing my hair, and it did me the world of good. I felt so much better afterwards. And this is the last topic I'm going to say, because I think William is just about to wake up, but the most important thing is to soak up all this newborn moment, because it does go away so quickly. The cuddles, everything, once you've started healing and you are feeling so much better, you will be on the go constantly. So just enjoy these last moments of resting and having all that time just to soak up the cuddles, because it will go away very quickly. I'm gonna like close this video now. You know, if you want to see more on my journey, I've got loads of videos down in the description on my channel. Just follow me on this channel and keep up to date with our little journey. Also follow me on Instagram with lovehollyxo. That's where I basically keep everything up to date. You can see pictures of William and how he's developing and growing. I make a point of updating that every single day. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you some sort of an inkling into what you're coming into who you are intending on having a C-section. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a big thumbs up if you did, and share away. It would really mean the world to me. So thank you so much, everybody. I will see you all soon.